I'm Brittany Bullholtz, student number E3056140. Today we're going to clean the analyzer. So I'm going to hit the tools button on our screen, then hit clean analyzer. I'm going to hit the little button under here, pull that up, and there's a little spring button here, lift, and there's a little ring in here to pull out. Set this off to the side. So then I'm going to clean this with an alcohol wipe. I'm going to go counterclockwise with it. This is cleaning out all the junk from the blood. I'm going to do 3 different wipes for this. I want to make sure I skip doing the eyes, so I'll clean it with something else in a second. Okay, now that the inside there is clean, I'm going to go ahead and take this little wipe, you know, what you'd use to clean a microscope, and clean the eyes. Okay, and then I'm going to also use an alcohol prep wipe to clean the outside of this because it gets really dirty. And then I'm going to use this to clean this part right here because it's sensitive. Then I'm going to match the little notches up. Okay, I'm going to pull this piece back down because now we're done cleaning it. Make sure it goes behind the little spring here, and then
push it down. Push it down. No, the other part. We'll put this back up. Oh, okay.
just pause it for a second. I broke it.
Go ahead.
So now that we finally got it closed, I'm going to hit done, so that way we can run the controls properly. So today we're going to do our heartworm test for the ELISA test. So I got the package here. I'm going to just open it up. It's the SNAP test. And I have our blood sample here for our patient. I have it labeled with her name, her last name, and species. So I'm going to go ahead and put 4 drops of conjugate in here. Draw some blood up, and I'm going to put 3 drops inside the tube. And then I'm going to invert it. And then I'm going to pour it inside here in a little well. And I'm going to get our little machine set up here, so I'm going to go ahead and click on her name, the little check button. I'm going to insert the SNAP test, and it'll take about 10 minutes to go. Okay, so today we're going to do our fecal flotation. I have a fecalizer cup here. So I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to stamp this end into the fecal here. Put it inside the cup. Use some fecal salt. Put a little bit in. Mix it up.
Hold the puppy that long and let the owner know there might be something wrong with it.
Okay. And then fill it up the rest of the way to make a meniscus on the top. And then I'm going to put cover slip. And it's going to sit there for the next 10 minutes. Now I'm going to do another fecal. So just stirring it up really good. Get a centrifuge tube. Picasso here. Alright, so it's not going through there, so I'm just going to use the strainer. I'm going to pour that into the centrifuge. Add some more Picasso. And then put it in the centrifuge for 5 minutes. Balance it out. Turn this down.
Go ahead.
Okay, so today we're going to do our serological test here. We're going to run a CBC quick and a chemistry and thyroid test. So I'm going to go ahead and put the CBC in. I've been inverting it. And I'm just going to push the button, and that one's going to run. So we sprayed some of the blood already. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the plasma on the top. Put it in a little container. I'm going to click on our patient. Hit plasma. Take out the old sample. And then I'm going to put the lights in first.
300 milligram gabapentin.
And the chemistry part. And then the thyroid part. And then I'm going to hit, after I put my sample in, I'm going to hit the run button. And then it's going to show up here on the screen how long it's going to take. Right now it's saying it's processing. And then in a minute it'll tell us how long the sample will take. So now I'm going to show you the screen where we can see all of our results. Right now we're looking at that dog's chemistry, that the CBC that we had just done. Now we're going to look at the chemistry part. And on here we can scroll up and down to see the results. Also, we can print from the screen right over here on this button. Earlier we also performed a urinalysis as well. And we can see all this from the computer screen. To get everything sent over to here, we have our main computers. And when we typed in the test to charge her for the test, that's how it got sent over to our blood machine. So now we're going to do our ear cytology. I'm just going to take some swabs. And gently get some in here. I don't want to go down too deep. That one was your left ear. That's your ear right here, kitty kitty. So now I have my right and left ear. And my slide. And I'm just going to gently roll it on here. And I like to make an owl for my left ear. And make two separate areas because the ears may read differently. So I'm going to gently heat fix our slide. This will help the cell stay on there. And I'm going to let it cool down a little bit since I just hit through the heat. And then I'm going to stain it. rinse off the back side, and then let it dry. So now I'm going to evaluate the ear segment that we did earlier.
I know, I've seen them do that. And look how high they fall out
I
of
know,
those
because
giraffes.
they just
They just
there.
stand there all around.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to focus it right now so I have a good view.
Oh my god.
You must watch National Geographic.
No, this was on just I don't even, Ken has the news on at night and
A little bit
I'll
on here.
I'll just
Did
kinda,
you- Did
Right now I'm looking at the
read
left
news
ear.
last night? I forget what country it was. They broke into a zoo and killed a rhinoceros to cut the ivory off.
yeah,
I
heard that
hope they
about
find
that.
out who did that.
Yeah, other
That's
countries,
terrible.
that's what they do, they poach them, cause that ivory must go for like,
Oh, they were tens of thousands of
Yeah.
dollars for just that one.
yep.
And Mike and I were just.
That's why there's, like the elephants, the
Scanning the
rhinos,
sides.
they're all like,
Right now I'm also
probably
seeing
endangered
a lot
because
of
of that.
wax
It's so
and
sad.
Cause yeah, they just
some
cut off
skin
the,
cells.
I mean, you know, cause
Leave
you
the
don't,
carcass.
yeah, cause you don't, I guess you don't eat it, so.
That's so sad. People are really sick.
There's that people ruin the.
and a few yeast here and there,
You're
but
on board
not a
or
whole
something.
lot.
Could I get a, Renee, could you put a surgery release for
So we're gonna take a look at the right ear now. Lots of skin cells on this one. And a lot of wax again, not a whole lot of bacteria or yeast on this one. There's really nothing to look at here, but the patient wasn't presenting with any ear problems. So now we're gonna go with the PPE that you wear for necropsy. So I have our gowns, these are a little bit of our older gowns we're gonna wear.
It's not our fault they're right on their
This is just for precautions. Don't want anything splattered on you. I got a hairnet. And a face mask. So we're not breathing anything.
Separate.
And some gloves. And then over here, I have in this little bin, I have a scalpel blade, some tissue forceps, and our little formalin jar for our tissue samples ready for doctor.
All right, we've got roughly a week-old domestic bunny here that died acutely on Saturday. History-wise, it sounded like the mother did not accept the litter, so I'm highly suspicious of failure of passive transfer. We're going to do a necropsy and see if we can see any abnormalities in here. First with necropsy, we look at any abnormalities on the outside of the animal. Now these guys are small, so and their eyes aren't even open yet, so usually you can evaluate hydration a little bit by looking at eyes and mucous membranes if you catch the animal shortly after it died. That's going to be difficult with this one. So externally, look for hydration, sunken eyes, things like that if they died. If you get to the body acutely after it died, we look for on the perineum for any signs of diarrhea. Honestly, there may be some signs here. It's hard to say. It's dried. Anus looks normal. Genitalia looks normal. Overall, grossly on the outside of the animal, everything looks normal. I feel musculoskeletally on this small critter. Honestly, I don't feel any abnormalities. So we're going to go ahead and start with the abdominal cavity here. You want to take caution inside here not to spill abdominal contents. I'm going to go right across the umbilicus here, and we're already in. This small animal is very delicate. We aren't quite through the peritoneum yet. I'm going to go all the way up to the sternum here, to the sternum to the xiphoid, and just reflect the skin here. Okay. Now we're going to enter the abdominal cavity, hopefully without penetrating any internal organs here. careful here. Now the first thing we're going to look at here is if there's any free fluid in the peritoneal cavity. And it doesn't look to be. There's a little bit in here. It's hard to say if that's post-mortem or if it was a problem or not. Before getting into the internal organs of the abdomen, I want to check. The cut isn't quite far enough here. We're going to go right into the thorax at the same time with this small little movement here. I think I'm going to actually need a Mayo scissor. Pause. So we're going to use nuts and bones instead of this little critter. And we're going to go right up and go through the sternum. And we're going to look at the thoracic cavity and see if there's any thoracic effusions. And if you want to grab here and reflect, perfect. We don't see anything. It looks like there's a little clot in the heart here. That's more than likely post-mortem. Lung tissue, from what I can see, you're going to take them out to further down. It looks normal here. So we'll go back to the abdominal cavity here. Liver, grossly, looks normal. Stomach is distended with some gas, but it does not look to be inflamed on the outside. You can actually see there's a little bit of milk in it. Then we'll go through the abdominal organs here. Looks like most of the intestines are full of milk product. This is cecum here. No indication of inflammation there. This coloring here I was gathered in post-mortem. So I'm not seeing anything that I would call acute gastroenteritis, but we can take samples of these and send them to the lab for histopathology to get a better idea. So, usually when removing intestinal contents, they tend to be very friable. So what we want to do is tie off each of them. If you want to go down there and grab me a piece of suture, there should be some in that box. Yep, we're going to open it up. And just fine. And turn the needle driver out there too. Or actually just a hemostat will be fine. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and tie off a piece of this intestine. We'll say this piece is questionable here. We'll tie off one end here. And this will be if we want to culture out of the, if you want to culture anything out of the intestines. So we tie off one end. And out in the field, if you're dealing with cattle or something like that. Now this is so friable, I just tore it. And for the purposes of this demonstration, we tie off that other end. This will be fresh tissue, we put this on ice. Okay. Now, let's go down deeper and take a look at these kidneys here. So we will reflect some of this. And I can see the kidney right down here. And I'm going to try to remove a kidney here. And we will send that in just a minute. Perfect. On this side now there is some old bruising, or you can see there's a clot there, but it's probably post-mortem. So we open the formalin jar up. We're going to go right in there. If it gets stuck to your instrument and you don't want to touch it, you can always use a needle from a cap, or take a cap off the needle and use a needle to take it off of whatever instrument you're using.
Okay.
Grossly, and that was the left kidney.
Okay.
Grossly, I'm just going to look at the right kidney. Right kidney looks normal to me. Now it looks like, trying to remember my rabbit anatomy here, because maybe the caudate lobe of the liver. We're going to take that. And generally speaking, I will slice through this and look at cut edge. I'm going to do right now.
Okay.
Now, generally speaking on this animal, there is what I would call moderate autolysis. The orbits are kind of starting to fall apart. So we'll take, cut edge looks fine. Open the formalin jar up here. And we'll submit one piece of liver. Now, back in the thoracic cavity. Usually on a calf or something like that, I would take the whole pluck out from here down here, but being this is such a small animal, I think it is just going to disintegrate on me. So looking at the lungs here, this surface of the right lung here looks normal to me. And if we had an animal where we would be questions if it died right after birth, there is a test we can do to see if it took a breath or not. You put these in a bucket of water. If they float, that means they are full of air, and the animal actually did take a breath. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and remove the heart here. And on the heart, what we want to look for, we want to take a cut edge of the right and left heart. It's going to be a little tough on this cutter. And evaluate for any septal defects. And honestly, it's so autolyzed, I'm not going to do that. I need to evaluate it. There is quite a blood clot cut into the, what I think is the left ventricle. Let's just submit this for histo as well. Now we're only using, if I had a larger animal, larger specimens, I'd be using more formalin. This is ample for any solution here. Now, also when looking at the thoracic cavity, just to right there a little bit, you want to look at the pleural edges of the, pull that edge over. You want to look at the pleural edges of the thoracic cavity, make sure there's no lung or any pathology on that wall, and that looks just fine. We're going to take a little bit of this lung out. Now, if we want to do culture, you would want to cauterize some of this lung and set it in fresh. And take a fresh cauterizing instrument to get a swab sample or something like that. Okay? This animal being so small. Now, there is quite a bit of hemorrhage around the hilus of the heart. It's hard to say if that's post-mortem or not. So I think we'll just send that piece of lung in for histo as well. Okay. And that is about that.
Alrighty.
We can cut into the stomach here and take a look and make sure there's no hemorrhages on the serosal surface, but there's no hemorrhages on the serosal surface. We do want to look at the outflow tract. Looks fine to me. But if this was red, we want to cut it and take a look at the mucosal surface. We can see we have milk in here. And we can scrape the edge of it to make sure it looks all right. I don't see any hemorrhages or anything on the cut surface. Okay. The cause of death, I'm still suspicious of failure of passive transfer, although I do not see, in my opinion, any indication of an infectious agent. So it's just hard to say. We'll wait for histopathology to come back and see what those things look like.
Alright.
Okay?
Yep. And I did label this earlier with the bunny's name, the species, and which doctor took the specimen. Now I'll just label it what samples are in here and we'll send it out. So today we're going to talk about the rabies and who should handle it and the safety precautions that you need to take when handling rabies suspect. The people who should be able to handle it are ones that are vaccinated within the clinic. Usually your doctors are always vaccinated. Sometimes your technicians are. The protective gear that you need to wear is gown, gloves, a face mask, goggles, and just your proper PPE to protect your mucous membranes so they don't come intact with anything. The specimen that you're supposed to ship would be the head or the brain. That's the most important part, and that needs to be shipped on ice and overnighted. And it needs to be in a sealed container, and then when you put it in a box, and you make sure you put hazardous material on there. Because it is a safety precaution, not just for you, but for the people who will be handling that mail. If it cannot be overnighted, you want to refrigerate it and mail it out as soon as possible. What you're going to do with the body is you're going to send it to a cremation service. You want to make sure it's in a bag so they're not getting in contact with that specimen. Hello, today so we're going to do our vaginal cytology. Typically the patient is awake and would be standing for this, however she's currently ready to get spayed. So we're going to go ahead and wash her vulva to prep it so it's sterile around that area. And I drew up some sterile isotonic solution earlier to moisten the swab. And she's going to be a little more relaxed. We don't have a speculum. And then I have a slide here, and I'm going to go ahead and just smear it on here. Also, our slide had dried now, so we're going to go ahead and stain it. I'm going to leave it in there for about a minute. So now we're going to move into the red stain. That's going to stain about 30 seconds. Now we're going to go to the purple stain. Okay, so now I'm going to read this line. I already did focus it up to 100x, and I'm just going to refocus this for myself. So it appears to me, I did look at the slide earlier, after I had rinsed it and let it dry, that the dog is in diestrus. I'm seeing mostly some small superficial cells, small intermediate cells, and some superficial cells, but not a lot. Looks like there's a few blood cells in here as well. A couple neutrophils. So, for the 4 stages, you have, for your follicular stages, you have proestrus and estrus. Both last about 9 days. And then for your luteal phases, you'll have diestrus and anestrus. Your diestrus will last about 60 days. Your anestrus phase will last depending on whether the dog is pregnant or not. Now, for what you'll see in the microscope will change depending on the phase that the dog is in. Proestrus, you're going to see a really good mixture of different types of cells, such as your intermediate cells. You'll see some neutrophils in there. You'll see some, what's the word I'm looking for? Superficial cells. And then when it gets to late proestrus, you're going to see a little bit more superficial cells and some new erythrocytes probably. When you get to estrus, you're going to see mainly superficial cells. That's going to be most of your estrus cycle stage you'll see in the microscope. When the dog is in diestrus, you're going to see some small intermediate cells, maybe a few neutrophils. You're going to barely see any superficial cells, but they might be there a little bit because they'll be dying down from estrus cycle. When you get to anestrus, you'll see a little more erythrocytes, and you will not see any superficial cells whatsoever. Scraping, I have a slide here, a scalpel blade, and I'm going to put some mineral oil on here. I'm just pinching the skin a little bit. I'm going to scrape until I make them bleed a little bit. And the reason why you do that is because some mites burrow deep down in their skin. You can see a little bit of blood. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on the slide, our sample. Usually you would sample a few extra spots. However, this dog wasn't presenting with any symptoms. He's just being our guinea pig today. What we're evaluating for is scabies or demodex, and your other types of skin mites. seeing some skin cells and some hair. I wasn't really expecting to find anything given that he wasn't presenting with any symptoms. So we drew the blood. I got my serum separator tubes and my EDTA tubes. I had them labeled with recipient and donor. We used it from a pit bull and a golden retriever. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in the centrifuge here.
Hi, Lauren. This is Dr. Jane. You have a question?
Hi, yes. And then I'm going to balance them out.
Okay.
Close it,
Just a
lock
hair.
it, finish this up, and turn it on for 10 minutes. So we centrifuge our samples. So I'm going to go ahead and take the serum out. This is our recipients.
No, I'm out of it now.
And I already pre-labeled the tubes here. Then I put it in a red top tube. And then we do the same thing with the donors. Same thing, put it in a red top tube. And then I also
She's coming.
centrifuge the EDTA tubes.
Okay, I'll let her know.
We have our plasma in here. I'm going to take out the plasma.
You're fine. Keep going.
Do the same thing to your recipients. Okay, now that the plasma is removed, we can do the erythrocyte washing. So for our test tube, I just have a plain red top tube. I'm going to use this with the donor, which is right here. So I'm going to take some of the blood out of the bottom of the tube here. And place 1 to 2 drops of blood in the red top. And then I've got some saline in here that I pre-labeled and drew up earlier. And I'm going to go ahead and fill up the rest of the tube with this. And then I'm going to mix it gently. And then I'm going to centrifuge it for 1 minute. I'll do the same to the recipient's blood. And then I'll repeat this process 2 more times for a total of 3 times to wash the erythrocyte so I get a clear suspension. We just finished centrifuging our last erythrocyte wash. We spun it 3 times at a minute after I had decamped the saline on it. So as you can see, it's clear and colorless now. So I'm going to go ahead and decant this one last time. And do the same to the donors. And now we're going to make the erythrocyte suspension. So I'm going to draw 0.02 mLs of blood. And I'm going to put that in the test tube. Make sure I have it matched up with the correct animal. And I pre-drew up 0.098 of saline. So that one's done. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the recipients. So I'm going to drop 0.02. Place that in a new test tube. Once again, I have 0.098 saline in here. Okay. And now we're going to perform the major cross match. got my major tube labeled. So I have the recipient serum from earlier. And I only need 2 drops. Okay. And then I'm going to do 2 drops of the donor's cell suspension.
Vaccines and
And that will be the major cross match. Set that up here. And then we're going to do the minor cross match. We're going to do 2 drops of the donor's serum in this one. And 2 drops of the recipient's erythrocyte suspension. And that will be the cross matches. Okay, so now we're going to do the controls. So I labeled a donor control and a recipient control. And for that, I'm just going to use the same 2 parts of the same animal. So I got the recipients here. So I have recipient serum. I do 2 drops of recipient serum. And 2 drops of the recipient's erythrocyte suspension. Okay, this will be our control. This labeled control, and I got my donor control. I'm going to do 2 drops of my donor serum. And 2 drops of my donor's erythrocyte suspension. And then there's our controls. We're going to let them sit and incubate for about 30 minutes. Okay, so now that we let it rest for 30 minutes, we're going to go ahead and centrifuge it for a minute. I already have it in the centrifuge here. And we'll let that run for 1 minute. And then we'll check it for any hemolysis and see if they are a match. So since the tubes have centrifuge for a minute, we're going to pull them out. And we're going to check them for egulation just by gently tapping on the bottle to get the grossly appearance. Seems like they're slightly breaking up, but they're still pretty clotted here on the bottom of this one. This is the minor cross match. This one's breaking up pretty good. This one's from the control, and that means it should break up. It shouldn't be clotted. This is the major one. This one's mixing actually really good too. And then this is the donor's control. Once again, that one broke up pretty good too. Then I'm going to take a small drop and place it on a slide here. Let me get a cover slip. We'll take it from the minor cross match. Okay, so we have the slide now on the microscope, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it. I'm going to turn the condenser down. No. So I'm not seeing any clotting or any clusters at all. They're all pretty well separated. This is from the minor cross match, so that might mean that they're a match based off of that sample. And then we'll check the major cross match quick. Whoops.
Stop.
Did you hear that? Once again, no clotting on the major, so that would mean they are a match. When I did the grossly appearance on it, the major part did seem like it was still slightly clotted, just a tiny bit, but on the microscope examination, you can't tell.